People come and go so quickly here.
No, I don't know many people.
I know too many people. I guess we're both lonely.
Milk was a bad choice.
You crying? No. Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
If you did 20% of the work and got 80% of the results, wouldn't you do it? Well, Stephanie Miller wrote the book on it. How to Save the Planet the 80-20 Way. Let's hear some tips on how to save the planet right now on The Al Travis Show.
We get in here every other week to talk about it. How do we save the planet the 80-20 way? How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing great. How are you, Al?
I'm remarkably well as the weather has turned. Got to do a little golf yesterday and look for golf in the future. So life is good. Can't complain.
Oh, yes. You're always happy when you've got golf on the horizon.
I don't need much. I don't need much. A few hours here and there. That's all I need.
Yeah. I'm with you. We have some sunny days, and it's been really not Minnesota cold, but pretty cold here in DC. So it's been nice to have the sun and some warmth. And yeah.
Them cherry blossoms getting close to blooming? No, that we're way from that.
They did. Yes, we peaked at the end of March, but it is still like cherry blossom season here.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I'm hosting or co-hosting a trivia night around Earth Month and Cherry Blossom Month next week. So very much April is cherry blossoms are on everybody's minds.
You say that you're having a tour and a what?
Not a tour, a trivia night.
Okay. And the trivia is all about cherry blossoms? Is this like a two question quiz? How many?
No.
How much cherry blossom?
It's in Washington, D.C., downtown, and it's about environmental stuff for Earth.
Oh, okay.
It's about local history. There'll be some cherry blossom questions as well, but you're right. You can't have a whole trivia night around cherry blossom.
There'd be one botanist somewhere.
But it would be maybe boring for most of us.
Agreed. Now, is this going to be at that fancy hotel where you're the...
Different hotel.
The corn... What? They allow you to do that?
Yeah, I work with two hotels, and this other hotel is a small boutique hotel. There's one in Hong Kong, one in DC. It's called Eaton Hotel. And they do a lot of cool events, and this is one of the events.
And you are, for these hotels, the environmental concierge, which means if anybody has a question about how to save the planet, they just give you a ring, and you're right there.
Yeah, I'm this sort of the on-site sustainability person when they bring me on site. So yeah,
I love that.
Fun.
Well, fun, and now it's cherry blossom season, so you're in on that. What else is going on in your life? How are you saving the planet? What do we got going this week?
So this week is Food Waste Prevention Week, which I'm sure has been top of your mind.
Has it been a year already? That's amazing how time flies.
Yeah. So this is the week where, if you need reminders about why preventing food waste is important and what you can do about it, there's a whole bunch of stuff online about it. It's a coalition, a bunch of organizations that got together, some of the usual suspects on, environmental NGOs, but also Hellmann's Mayonnaise is one of the sponsors of the week. So
that's an interesting sponsorship because you always believe mayonnaise will go bad. If you make something out of mayonnaise and you don't treat it right, it'll go bad on a heartbeat. Am I lying on that? Or is that old wives' tale?
I don't consume mayonnaise, so I have to admit I'm not up on my mayo statistics.
Do you enjoy anything in life? Is there much better than mayo? Seriously?
Yes, sorry. I'll come back to you with some mayo stats, but mayo is not. You're right.
If you're looking this on YouTube, you are seeing my mouth drop.
Yeah.
How many people don't like mayo? Don't like it? You don't have you had it, or is it just like?
I have. Dairy doesn't agree with me very much, so that's a big part of it. But we have mayo in the fridge. It's almonds, but my husband uses mayo.
Good. See, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Normal human. Does this come this time of year? And I guess it's spring. Obviously, everybody likes them in the spring. But because of the Easter, this on a regular year, you'd be pushing right up against Easter, and there's a lot of food made that sort of thing. Any idea why this week is?
Is Food Waste Prevention Week?
Yeah.
That's a great question that nobody's asked me, but I would imagine because April is Earth Month, right? Earth Day is April 22. So
Okay.
I would imagine that it's
In that
because of
realm, sure.
that. Yeah.
All right. Because it's good. Because I want to say last year when we talked, I'd have to go back and look. But this week was much closer to Easter because like we were talking about all the food that people bring. See, I remember these things when we talk about all the
Yeah,
food
that's
people make and
impressive.
eat. And what do you mean? I like talking to you about this stuff.
I
So
know,
that's why I
but it's
remembered it
impressive
from last
that
year.
you would remember from last year, but you're right. The week shifts a bit every year.
Yeah, and this is way
I
late.
would have to go back and look exactly when it fell last year, but
It doesn't matter, but that's what I remember. It's like, oh, yeah, because I'm making the ham. And
oh,
when it's at my place, I like to go overboard. It's who I am. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll do a ham. We'll do it. I mean, we do it all because that's fun. I enjoy it. But
yeah.
you were talking about then how do we take care of all those leftovers?
Yes.
That's what I remember.
Yes, and I mean, on that subject of ham freezes beautifully. So, in your house, you may not have any leftover ham after Easter. In our house, we also may not have leftover ham, or we may want the leftovers for a couple of days. But it's sort of like Thanksgiving with turkey.
Yep.
If you're looking at, say, 2 days after the event, the occasion, the holiday, and you've still got that stuff and you're starting to develop less of an interest in having it for a sixth meal in a row, that's the perfect time to shove it in the freezer. Literally just take that container you've already done with, if it's turkey, you've already trimmed you've already cut up the slices, same with the ham, get it off the bone, get it in the freezer. Oh my gosh. How happy would you be, Al, if, a month after Easter, you're hungry, you don't have time, you and your wife don't have time to cook, and you pull out some of that Easter ham, right? And it
I
freezes
don't
beautifully, it defrosts beautifully. Why are you blushing?
because I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. We make food. Or I make food. I get the big holidays is Al's holidays. If I'm going to make a 10-pound ham because that seems the right size for the number of people, I will make a 20-pound ham.
Yeah.
First off, is you're never going to go hungry at Easter at my house. You're here, your friends. We're going to. You don't worry about me saying we're running out of ham. You're not.
Right.
But then it has all those leftovers. If I had 10 pounds, if people don't eat much, good, get out of here. I'll have it for the next 5 weeks. I love ham. The other thing I was going to say, just an Al Travis tip. No one really asked me on this, but
Yeah, I'm asking.
Get the spiral cut
Okay.
because besides it's easy to cook and it cooks a little faster because it's already cut all the way through, but there's nothing left. When you're cleaning that bone, you don't have to muck around and it just falls off. You get 100% of the ham, costs a couple extra bucks, but no waste. I'm telling you, I'm a spiral guy. That's me.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I've got a few followers who are vegetarian and they're listening to this and they're just like not happy with me. But look, I like a spiral ham, so I'm with you on that. But can I back up 1 second on
It's your bit.
why
Yes.
we should care about preventing food waste? Because I know
This would be a great lead into the commercial. Give us the great lead in and how we'll do it. The commercial's coming. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the how we'll do it after the commercial maybe, but the why we should do it is because if you look at food waste, it is a huge contributor to greenhouse gas emissions, 8 to 10%. And if you look at the aviation sector, global air travel is responsible for 2.4% of greenhouse gas emissions. So you're talking food waste in landfills ends up being more than 3 times the impact of global air travel. And the beautiful thing is that in this country, half the food waste problem exists at the household level with you and me, Al, and the rest of us in the US. And so that means we can do something about it. So that's why I find it exciting. And that's why after the break.
That is an amazing statistic. I will throw out just to tick off your friends. Most of this food waste that's going on, this is just my belief, we'll have to study it, is from the vegetable people. The vegetable people leave many more waste than we We meat lovers. We take care of business. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease! It'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Do you have a closet full of old videos, photos, slides, or films? Regain that space and preserve those memories for future generations. Visit archivinglifemedia.com or call 952-829-8018. See how safe and simple it is to digitize all your media. Gain peace of mind knowing that all those important memories will be saved and can be seen and shared again. Do it today. Check out archivinglifemedia.com or give them a call, 952-829-8018.
Are you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS-SHOW.
I really want Stephanie Miller to finish her thought about why it's so important to do this food waste, not wasting the food. But I would like us to start with the idea that maybe most folks didn't hear you yell at the very end, I think you're right, Al. Words never said on this program before with you. Meat eaters, we eat the meat. We take care of it. We don't throw a whole lot out, maybe a little fat chunk here and there, but that's it. The vegetable people, asparagus guys, the cauliflower tastes like pizza crust. That stuff goes to waste and it's crushing us. We should stop it. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I wouldn't say you're wrong about if you're implying we should eat fewer vegetables, but you're right that the things that are most vulnerable, that go bad fastest, are the things we end up wasting because we don't take care of them well enough, or we don't eat them soon enough before they go bad. So I have some tips on what to do about some of that produce. But just to remind folks, some of the best, easiest ways to prevent food waste is to only buy the food that you're going to eat.
There you
and
go.
This is so much easier said than done. So obviously shop with a list. Even before you shop with a list, do a bit of a meal plan. My husband and I do that once a week, not for all 7 nights of the week, but good 3-4 days out. That a big part of your problem gets solved if you don't buy too much food. But
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. If you bring home carrots, asparagus, lettuce, and you don't eat it right away or prep it in a way that will allow you to eat it when you're ready in 2, 3, 4 days, that stuff is going to go to waste, unlike your spiral ham. So you're right. So here's some.
Well, and that is the ease of it. You buy meat, you buy too much. You go to the store, you're going to buy the week's worth of meat. If it's 5 days from now, you can put that in the freezer. You know, if you're not, and if you don't use it, you put lettuce in the freezer. They're not liking the lettuce when you pull it back. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to freeze the lettuce.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I like to say almost everything freezes really well, but lettuce is not one of those things. And raw produce in general. I mean, although like I freeze strawberries, I freeze blueberries so that I've got them. So here's some of the things I do. And you might think this is nerdy, but I'm telling you, it saves me a lot of time and it prevents a lot of waste. So if I buy a head of lettuce, as soon as I walk in the door, unload the groceries, I take the lettuce head and I clean the lettuce leaves and I roll them up into a kitchen towel loosely and put them in the produce drawer. They last much longer that way. And it also saves me the time when I'm ready to make my salad. I don't have to go doing those extra steps. I've done them already. Carrots.
Interesting.
Get them home. I peel them right away and I put them in a jar of water. They stay fresh for much longer than if I just put the carrots from the grocery store into the produce.
Interesting.
Drawer. Asparagus. Treat it like flowers. Put it in a jar with some water at the bottom. Okay.
Treat it like trash and just throw it away. Don't take it home from the
for
store.
Those who buy asparagus, not Al Travis. Yeah, I hear you. So those are some of the things I do. Can I say one more tip or no?
Oh, absolutely. No, I want to ask you a question about something I saw on TV about this whole thing. There's some gal, I don't know who it is, a housewife or something. She's got a spray-on thing where she shows broccoli and how the water runs off it, or apples because it's so wax covered with chemicals. Then you spray this chemical on it and then it's good for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like one more chemical on my stuff.
Well,
Can you get that stuff off without it? I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure people have seen it. Some gals on there, you sprayed it on your broccoli and look at the water goes in it. I don't know if I want to spray my fruit with other stuff.
Yeah, I've seen those sprays. So like anything, you just said it. You don't want to replace one chemical with another set of chemicals. There are ways to get the wax off and the chemicals in some of the produce off. I think there's a mild vinegar. You can just add a little vinegar to water and scrub. I believe that's one solution. I'll look up some others, but you don't want to put chemicals on your food. And if you've got chemicals on your food, you do want to try to get them off.
Well, yeah, they show the apple, you get it cold and you can see the wax build up on it. But okay, so you take turpentine to get that off. And I don't know what's in this stuff to get it off. Sounds good, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to know if I need to buy it.
If you shop at farmers markets, chances are, and if you can afford organic, they're not using that stuff. So you save yourself the hassle. Maybe you spend a little more money on the front end. But I wanted to talk about money for a second, because that's where you and I converge. I know you think about the planet at least every other week when you've got me on the show.
That's true.
But where you and I have converged the most around stuff that I recommend for the planet is when it also saves money. And I will say it's something like $1,600 a year that the average American family wastes by bringing home all those groceries. It's like taking a bunch of the bags of groceries and just throwing them in the trash. It is so wasteful. So you don't want to waste the food. And now some food prices are really high. Coffee. We don't make coffee in this country. So we're going to have to keep importing coffee. Our coffee bags, the last time we bought one is like $16, $17. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I said to my husband, every morning you make coffee and there's about a cup left of coffee. And so I showed him how much. I was like, so just make a little less so we don't waste the coffee and we don't pour the money down the drain.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. I'm glad you're saving the money. The other is drink an extra half cup of coffee. Really feel good when you get in the car on your drive to work. I got to fly. I'm out of time. I love having you on the program. She's Stephanie Miller, Zero Waste Living, the 80-20 Way. Look her up. Get you back in a couple weeks.
Sounds great. Thank
we
you.
got her.
Okay. Bye.